Good evening, YouTube. Good evening. Good evening, YouTube. This is your home girl, uh, Haribia Barbosa, 914, which is the county of New York, aka the BT 1000, aka the Japer Creeper on this shit, aka Lucy the Vampire, aka the German Shepherd in the goddamn room. I know that a few people are live right now. I know a few people are conducting live videos right now, but we already see what they're talking about. Gossip, empty talk, reaction videos that don't mean anything, but it only means something to the person that's doing it. That's doing it, you know. We got some people on this app actually think that they're professionals. They think they can actually help people. But I'm sorry to say the human situation cannot be repaired, cannot be fixed overnight. It's not going to be fixed. O O Speaks just did a video today where he was reacting to some videos posted on social media about some young women that are on public assistance, food stamps, etc., etc. And there was one particular young woman that was making a breakfast for her family, and she said she only had small packets of oatmeal, two small packets of oatmeal, and she has 6 children. Well, I'm going to tell you like this. I don't feel sorry for these women that got large amounts of children and they're on public assistance. They know that Donald Trump is in the White House. They know that Donald Trump is in that seat. Donald Trump has signed certain executive orders that is dealing with the public assistance situation. That part of our circumstances in our country. Me myself, I used to be on public assistance when I was living in New York. When I moved from South Carolina, right? This was years ago. And I moved back to my home state of New York. I moved back into Westchester County, New York. And I went in and I applied for food stamps and etc., etc. I was told, yes, you qualify for certain benefits for 2 years. And then after the 2 years was up, if my circumstance in life had not changed, that I would have to reapply and continue to reapply for certain types of assistance if I was not self-sufficient at a certain time. But during my time of being on the public assistance rolls, I was asked or requested and assigned to go to work 20 hours a week. And in the New York situation case, shout out to the chat. Thank you for coming in. In the New York situation, it's called Pride and Work. It's called the Pride and Work program, the Pride and Work ticket. And what you do when you're on that program, you go and report to the place that they tell you to go to, and you're working there for 20 hours a week. That means you're going in maybe 5 days out of the week, Monday through Friday, and you're working at least what, 4 hours a day? 4 hours a day. Shout out to the chat. Well, while I was doing that, I had to be looking for a job as well. And I'm going to tell you, I did find employment when I was living in New York, because I immediately found employment, full-time employment, as a custodian for one of the shelters in Westchester County that was located in White Plains, New York. It was a full-time position. I was making good money on that job. I stayed on that job for almost a year. You know why I lost that job? Not because of drug use, not because of alcohol use. It was because I decided to fraternize with one of the residents there, another woman. Shout out to the chat. I carried on a sexual love affair with a woman that was living there on the premises. She was a mother, a single mother. I think I carried on a relationship with her for a little while. It wasn't that long. But I remember my sister telling me when she met the woman face to face, she said, Arabia, I don't mean no harm. I think you need to leave this woman alone. I think you would leave that alone, because if you don't, you're going to end up losing your job, which I did. They fired me for fraternization. Having a sexual affair with another woman. But let me give you the twist. She was working for the company as well as a security guard, an unarmed security guard. That meant that she had to go to wherever they could assign her somewhere to go to do security guard work, watch a desk, monitor a building. That's the only thing she had to do. But when they fired me, they fired her as well. So shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. Thank you for coming in. You know, I'm a ghost whisperer over here. So I want to thank everyone that comes in that doesn't typically type in the chat, but it shows on the screen that you're here. And those that are not here will catch the playback. But I'm going to say, in the state of New York, those that are receiving some kind of welfare, some kind of public assistance, some kind of food stamps, are being requested to work somewhere. If they're not working somewhere, they're in a program all day long. The programs in New York for outpatient, in most cases, the program starts at 8 o'clock in the morning. It doesn't end until way after 1:30 in the afternoon. Sometimes you're in program and classes all day to about 3:30 in the afternoon sometimes. It depends on which program you're attending. Shout out to the chat. I know because I've been through it. I was dual diagnosed. Mental health, substance abuse. 2 different programs. But it's all geared to recovery. A lot of people don't know anything about recovery. They don't know what a dry drunk is. They don't know what a wet drunk is. These people are ignorant. that have no idea what recovery is. They're not in recovery. They participate in certain behaviors that is questionable under certain circumstances. Shout out to the chat. But we're not going to talk about other YouTube creators. We're talking about what O Speaks brought up in his video today. Shout out to O Speaks. If y'all want to, y'all go over there and sub up to O Speaks. That's what I call him. What I'm going to do later on, I'm going to share that video, and then people will see it and they'll be able to sub up to him. So he had a very good conversation. And in the video, there were young women complaining about their situation, that they couldn't find a job, that they have children to take care. In my day, if you couldn't take care of your children, guess where your children went? They went to the state. The state ended up getting your kids. The state ended up raising your kids, and you might not see your kids anymore. If you're not visiting them once a month, you're not showing some kind of concern or interest in your children will be lost in the fucking foster care system of New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, wherever you live. If you are not fit to take care of your own children, because nobody told you to go out there and have 6 head of children. Nobody told you to have 10 children. You don't live on a farm, so what the fuck you having to make kids for if you can't take care of them? And in a little while, they're gonna make it so you're gonna have to take a test, some kind of license test, to make sure that you can be a parent. And if you fail, you're not going to be allowed to be a parent. It's coming to a day when they're going to go back to doing what they used to do back in the older times of this country, where they stopped people from having children, people that were a part of certain populations. Then they talked about, in that video today, vocational job training. You know, I work a construction job during the week. I go on construction labor tickets during the week. And I don't mean no harm. A lot of the workforce for the construction industry has dropped thanks to the deporting of certain citizens or certain people and certain groups out of this country. Those that are here illegally or whatever the case may be, they got caught up in the ICE sweeps, and some of them got deported. But I found it very strange and very interesting that a lot of black men and a lot of white men can't even read a fucking tape measure. They can't read a fucking blueprint. They can't carry around bricks in their hands, and some of them don't know how to work the equipment to carry heavy loads. Shout out to the chat. We got a lot of young people hanging outside in the streets. Not all of them are selling drugs. Not all of them are selling drugs. Not all of them are in gangs. But a lot of young people are dropping out of school. They are not interested in school. A lot of them, when I was growing up, the ones that ended up dropping out of school, they were more interested in making money from off the streets, selling drugs, hustling. They felt that going to school wasn't for them. So a lot of them dropped out. A lot of them felt discouraged about being in school because a lot of them couldn't read. We had people getting ready to graduate one particular year, and these people were not reading on a third grade level. Shout out to the chat. And you found this out, and I hate to say it, you be sitting in class, an English class, a history class somewhere, and the teacher asks everyone to read a paragraph out of the book that you're studying from. And we had people that knew how to read, knew how to comprehend beautifully. But then you had those that would read like this: Joe and Jane. What's that word right there? Went to the store, and they would do that for as long as they was reading the paragraph. It was frustrating. I saw it was an issue back then. I was not even graduated from high school. I never graduated from high school. I dropped out, but I went into the Job Corps. I went into Job Corps. I took up a trade. I got my GED. When I got out of the Job Corps, I went out, got me a job. This is when I was in my 20s. I ended up going to prison. I got out. I moved back to New York for a short period of time. I lived up there from in my 30s, my early 30s to 41, that I moved down south. But I'm telling you what I seen in my life and what O Speaks was explaining in his video today. And I think that's frightening. Young mothers have no concept of how to cook and clean. A lot of people criticize the Nation of Islam. A lot of people criticize the Nation of Islam, but that might be the best bet, the best thing for Black people, especially these new generations that's coming behind me. During my time, we were taught how to cook and clean. It is no longer important that these women do that. They don't feel it's important to teach their daughters or their sons how to cook and clean. They have no interest in training their children how to survive because the mothers themselves don't know how to survive, but they want to call themselves mothers. You're made in the image of God. How you made in the image of God, you can't even take care of your own creation. You're not made in the image of God. You're made in the image of Dr. Yakub, an ignorant motherfucker, a clown. But I'm telling you, these problems, social problems that we have in this country are not going to be solved overnight. They're not going to be solved overnight. Thank you, DJ Cleveland, for coming in. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to you. The problems we have in this country concerning employment, education, job training, motherhood, fatherhood is not going to be solved overnight. One video can't do it. We got a lot of policymakers that sit in Congress and in the Senate, and I'm telling you, they are not interested in helping society as a whole. They are interested in fattening their pockets. They're not there to represent me and you. They are there to collect a check. And if some of them remain in those positions that they're in now, they will be retiring. They will receive a pension, being a congressperson or a senator. They don't give a fuck about me or you. Donald Trump, the president, he don't give a fuck. Who does? Who does? We got a lot of corruption going on in our government. I don't care. And those problems are not going to be solved overnight. It's not going to happen. People can fool themselves, put themselves in a situation where they think things are going to get better overnight. It's not going to happen. It's going to take time. A lot of the shit that's going on has something to do with generation stuff. It's passed down from one generation to the next generation, one generation to the next generation. That's what it is. Mothers passing down their fucking problems to their children passing their problems down to their children. Nothing is being solved. And the prison industry complex cannot fix a broken society. That's where the broken people go. That's where most of them end up anyway. The prison industry is a big money maker. They're there to what? Not reform. They don't do anything. When I was there, when I was a prisoner, when I was an inmate, when I was incarcerated, inmate number 221644. It's not 1030 yet, but I know it's close to the time where certain institutions, all the institutions in South Carolina, are going to be doing their roll call around 10:30. Shout out to the chat. And when I was there, when they released me on the compound, for the little bit of time they released me, what kind of jobs did I work? I worked in the kitchen. I worked on the yard doing landscaping, horticulture. And then later on, I went into the sewing plant. I learned how to operate a sewing machine. I learned how to put certain types of clothing together. Those women took their time to train me to do that. I did that the last few months, the last year and a half I was there in that institution doing my time. And when I maxed out, I couldn't even find a sewing job. I had to result. Let me turn off this alarm. I keep an alarm on one of my devices, I guess, to let me know what time it is at night. Shout out to the chat. It's 9:00 at night. We got almost an hour and 30 minutes to the roll call situation. But I'm not in prison. But I'm just saying, when I was there were certain jobs I did, and when I got out, I couldn't get a job there doing that. And I loved sewing. I love doing it. I love being on the machine, hearing the hum of the machine, see my work come out. Once everything's put together, then they take it and they iron it, and then they fold it and they make bundles. They tie it into bundles, then they box them up. They made sports bras. They made boxer shorts. We made different things in that sewing plant. Shout out to the chat. Some women went into the dental thing where they made dentures. When they got out, they couldn't get a job doing that. Some women went and started working for the travel agency that was there at the prison, that they handled people credit card, debit card information. They set up their vacation details. They booked people's flights. They booked cruises for different customers. Yes, they did. And when they got out, they couldn't even get a job in that. In the state of California, some of the men over there, shout out to them, they're made to do fireman work while they're doing time in prison. There was one particular man that actually wrote a book about it. But when they get out, they can't even find a job working as a firefighter. Some people, when they're in prison, they do certain jobs, but when they get out, all the training that they received, you can't get a job in it because most of those industries don't hire ex-cons. They don't. Let's be real. A lot of the homeless population is filled up with people who have fallen on their luck. It's not going to be solved overnight. I don't give a fuck what President Trump says. President Trump can suck a bag of dicks for all I care. The man, he's a businessman. He don't give a fuck about people. He gives a fuck about profit. He gives a fuck about money. He gives a fuck about gold. He gives a fuck about silver. He doesn't give a fuck about me and you. Sending troops into Chicago is not going to fix what's going on in Chicago. It's not going to touch the deep roots of why the gangs are in existence, why they're there. And when people think about gangs, they think about the Bloods and Crips. No, there's different street organizations that exist. We got the People Nation. We got the Folk Nation. That includes certain groups. They exist in Chicago. They exist in Mississippi. They exist in Tennessee. They exist in Georgia. They exist all over the United States. But those problems are not going to be solved overnight. It's not going to happen. It's not. O Speaks did a wonderful job when he did the video. He had people up there on the panel. He had people in the comment section. There was a lot of us in the comment section, tippity typing, asking questions, having conversations, mixing and mingling. Speaks. I don't know if he realized it. Do you realize O Speaks? O Speaks right now. Do you realize that people mixing today? O Speaks. You was able to bring certain groups of people together, certain groups that can't necessarily get along with each other, but they was all in the chat. They was talking to each other. They was enjoying each other, asking questions, being adults for once, having an adult conversation. And it was a good conversation. I enjoyed myself a little bit, but then I started getting frustrated because we were coming up with different answers to some of these problems, but we know that none of this is going to be implemented. It's not going to be implemented. The foster care system is always going to be here because you're always going to have some kind of no-name, off-brand, drop shot, pathetic dweeb, drag nasty people having kids. People having children that shouldn't even have them. Tell me, how you going to take care of 5 children, 6 children, 10 children, 14 children? I know some women that have 14, 15 heads of children. All their children are in some type of foster care home, or they're in some type of group home because the mother was so pathetic. The mother was a low life, a dweeb, a female dweeb. You know what's worse than a male dweeb? A female dweeb, a female creep, a female weirdo, a female drop shot, no name, off brand, drag nasty, bitch made bitch. Those are the women that are having all these children. Those are the women that are having football teams. Those are the women that are having basketball teams. I'm not just talking about black women neither. Shout out to the sisters. But I don't mean no harm. The Nation of Islam program might be what black people need in this country in order to survive, in order to make it off the rolls of public assistance, government housing, low paying jobs, no education or very little education. Because in the Nation of Islam, they train their young women how to be mothers, how to be wives. That's what they train their women to do. How to take care of themselves, how to take care of their children, how to take care of their husband. And they're also taught self-defense. So they're just not cooking and cleaning. They're cooking, cleaning, nurturing their families, keeping their families together, keeping their families strong, keeping their families healthy, and keeping their families safe. I'm sorry to say it, the Nation of Islam has an excellent program. An excellent program. Especially for this new generation of young women that call themselves mothers. A lot of them can't even afford child care. A lot of them can't afford to do nothing, and they got the nerve to have more than one child. DJ Cleveland, I'm not letting nobody up right now. I know the link is dropped. I'm not letting nobody up right now. Sorry. I gotta get this out. Because I know that, even though you're in the back, I know you're not gonna stay on topic. I already know that. Shout out to you. Thank you for coming in. Hit the Cash App. Do that for me. But yeah, that's what's going on. So O Speaks, he did do a wonderful video today, but nothing got solved. There was a young lady in the chat. I think her name is Beautiful One. I've heard of her before. And she kept saying in the chat that some of these homes, is fatherless homes. The fathers need to be in a home. Okay, I agree with her. But there's a lot of fathers that don't belong in the homes because a lot of the fathers are assholes. That's where we get a lot of our domestic violence from. That's where a lot of child abuse come into with some of these men. These men are pitiful these days. They're pathetic. And they're not real men. They're beta males. So we don't need beta males to be in the home. I don't care. I don't care what kind of job he's working. I don't care how much money he's making. If he's abusive towards his family, yes, it's good for them to walk the fuck out. because that's what a lot of them want to do anyway. That's what a lot of them want to do anyway. You're lucky to get your man to stay with you after your child turns 2 years old, because a lot of them want to leave. And they don't want to leave because of the child. They want to leave because of the woman. A lot of the women are out of order and they're out of pocket. You get with a man and he's working with you. He's your teammate. You're on the same team, but you're running him down in the ground with your nagging, with your complaining, with your begging for money every week to get your hair fixed, your nails fixed, your toes fixed. Why don't you go get your mind fixed? Use that money to go see a therapist. Get your mind right. Because a lot of you who are married don't need to be fucking married. Shout out to the chat. It's best to remain single and be single until you can get your own self together. Because a lot of you, you're your own worst enemy. We are our own worst enemy in certain cases, in certain circumstances, in certain relationships. We don't belong to certain people. Some people are just there for a season, a reason sometime. But when it's time to leave, it's time to leave. When it's time to go, it's time to go. Let that person go. This ain't slavery. Let that person go. They want to leave? Leave. Let them leave. They don't want to be with you no more? Let them go. There's plenty of fish in the sea. And some people need to be by themselves. They don't need no fucking relationship to complicate things. You know? So it is what it is. But that was a very good video Old Speaks did. And he did the video beautifully. But unfortunately, Old Speaks, and I hate to say it, the problems are not going to be solved overnight. One video is not going to fix the certain circumstances and situations our society is facing. And I'm sorry to say it, there's a lot of women that don't know how to keep house, don't know how to take care of no children, and these are the people running families. This is why Chicago is in the state it's in. This is why Mississippi is in the state that they're in. This is why Tennessee is in the state that they're in. This is why California, certain places of California, is in the state that they're in. Why have children you can't fucking afford? You can't take care of. You're not making a certain amount of money a year. It takes a lot of money to raise children. I'm not going to lie. Some of you, I'm going to tell you, when your kids end up in foster care, those foster care parents are making between $700 and $900 a month for having your kid in their home. So if and they get paid that once a month, and they get paid bonus monies so the children can have some clothing on their backs and X, Y, and Z, whatever else they need. So I'm telling you right now, if you're not willing to pay 15, 16, 20, 2100 to take care of your child a month, I'm just giving you a low estimate. If you're not, I'm gonna put it like this: if you're not willing to spend $700 a month on your kid, on taking care of your kid, making sure the kid got everything, there's no need to fucking have them. Keep your legs closed. get on the birth control. That's why we got birth control out here. That's why they sell condoms. People need to start thinking. You can go to your doctor, your nearest doctor, and get the birth control shots. They got a shot. They put it in you. It lasts for a whole year. When you go back to the doctor for that particular situation, they remove it and they insert a new one. Shout out to the chat. Birth control. It's called being responsible. It's called being smart adults, being intelligent, and not ignorant all the fucking time. Excuse me. Excuse me. Hey, Brooklyn Hood, thank you for coming in. I want to thank everyone that comes into the chat and types into the chat. Hit that like button. If you can, hit the Cash App. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. Those that are not here, they'll catch the playback. Like and share the video. Like and share the video. And I want to give a complete shout out to my homegirl, Jess J. I want to give a complete shout out to my homegirl, Jess J. She was doing her video this morning. YouTube getting an attitude. YouTube got funny style. They kept shutting my girl down because my girl was playing the good music. And let me tell you something, Just Jay. Everyone was enjoying themselves. Everyone was having a blast. Everyone was having a good time. And you was live right at the right time, Just Jay. People were getting ready to go to work. People were getting off of work. Some people couldn't sleep that evening. Just Jay came on at whatever time she came on, and she didn't get off until what? A little later this morning. She was live for a couple of hours until YouTube kept shutting down her stream. Until they kept shutting down her stream because she was playing the music. But she was playing the music that everybody liked. And she even brought up some old videos that people was enjoying. They was having a blast. She even brought up that old video of Ike Turner being arrested for drunk driving. Yes. So we was having fun this morning. So shout out to Just Jay. You're bringing back the fun to these YouTube streets. And I appreciate you. I thank you. I appreciate you. And yes, I'm going to tell people to go over there and sub up to you. And don't you dare think about quitting being a YouTube creator. Don't do that. You did wonderful this morning. I'm proud of you. I'm glad to know you. Shout out to you. Because I remember one particular morning getting up mad early, taking my shower, putting on my clean clothes, putting on my shoes, putting on my baseball cap, my house keys, walking out of this house 3 o'clock in the morning to go downtown to go to the dispatch office to be dispatched to go to work that morning. And Just Jay and Mika was in the chat. Yo, shout out to both of my women. And then there was another time. Keep the Change was in there. Shout out to Keep the Change. Lovely. Star Beaton was in there. Shout out to Lovely. Empress Lonnie One Love. She shows up every now and then. Shout out to Lonnie. You know, shout out to all the people that support my channel. You know what I mean? Shout out to you. It means a lot to me. It means a lot, especially when I do those walks in the morning. Those are not easy walks. From here to downtown, certain places in downtown Charleston, that takes over an hour to walk. But lately, the walk's been getting better. It's been getting better. It's taking what, maybe an hour, maybe 49 minutes now, depending on how fast I go. and I be feeling good when I'm walking. Shout out to the chat. I'm a big girl, so I need to exercise. I'm a big girl now. I used to be small. I used to be skinny. Those days are over. I started gaining weight around the time the pandemic. Yeah, I remember it just started sneaking up on me. It just started sneaking up on me, and then it finally caught up to me. Imagine being skinny all them years, looking like a skeleton, and then later on, I'm chubby. I'm a little small Jabba the Hutt. Oh Lord. So yes. O Speaks, you did a good job today. Flip phone was live earlier. Shout out to Flip for going live, for hitting that button. You know what I mean? Shout out to everyone that went live today. Because I appreciate everyone that I'm subscribed to. Shout out to my subscribers. Shout out to my day ones. Because I got a lot of day ones that been with me for a while. You know what I mean? Shout out to them. Appreciate every last one. I'm getting ready to close out this video. I hope everyone has an awesome evening. Enjoy your evening. Be safe out there. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your weekend. Because I believe I might have a long weekend this weekend, but that's okay. That's fine. This is what happens when you live in America and you're trying to work these jobs. You're trying to make the money. You're trying to do the right thing. It's so easy to do the wrong thing. It's so fucking easy to do the fucking wrong thing. But it's so hard to be a square. And we facing a lot of trouble being people that work these jobs, paying these taxes, trying to pay our bills, trying to survive. You know, there's a saying that I used to say back in the old days of my YouTube journeys. Sometimes the working man is being played for a sucker. The working man is a sucker. And we fall for the okie doke. We fall for the bullshit all the time. All the tonteria. All the embustera. We fall for it all the time. Not only from the government, but from every parts of society that's supposed to be servicing us. It's supposed to be helping us, supposed to be assisting us. Or things that are just there for entertainment. It's being used as weapons of mass destruction against us. And we need to stop being suckers. Shout out to the chat. I'm out of here. I want to thank everyone for coming in. And for those that are not here, I hope you catch the replay, the playback. I'm sorry I couldn't let nobody up. You know, I know the link is dropped. I'm in the habit of dropping the link. But for right now, I just wanted to talk on my own. And some people just don't know how to stay on subject. They don't. Peace out, y'all. Thank you for coming.